Welcome to our FedTalks executive video series. We're here with Andre Mendes, CIO at the Department of Commerce. Andre, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Let me ask, where do you see some of the greatest opportunities right now at the Department of Commerce for AI and ML to improve citizen services?
Well, with the breadth of charters that we have at the Department of Commerce with all the different bureaus, there are a substantial number of places where that can be a very, very serious adjuvant to fulfilling our mission. You know, right off the bat, NOAA comes to mind in terms of the ability to use those algorithms and machine learning to improve our predictability of weather events, whether they are critical weather events or just an ongoing basis, rains and cloud forecasts, temperature, but also, paths for tornadoes, the potential for wind shear to create, a diminution in the tornado strength, or on the other side, the lack of that to create a potential cluster of tornadoes, evolving very rapidly. So right there, not only do we have an improvement to the mission, but the potential for saving lives potentially that are in the path of a storm such as that. Other areas. For example, with the USPTO, they are already leveraging AI and ML to really improve the way that we do the analysis of the patents, that we do search for correlations, and so that is already a tremendous help in improving the efficiency of our patent processing process, basically. And so, but there are other areas when you look at the census, for example, and some of the analysis that is done on a geographic level, on an economic level. I believe that there's tremendous opportunity for improving the algorithms for the way that we look for people to survey, and therefore increase the opportunity for accuracy in those surveys. But it is across the entire Department of Commerce, quite honestly.
And then next, what would you say are your top 3 IT priorities heading into the new fiscal year?
So, I mean, by virtue of the nature of the business that we're in, cybersecurity is always going to be front and center. And so we have a very aggressive program for migrating into the zero trust architecture arena. Some of our bureaus that started that effort 4 or 5 years ago and are well underway. But we have adopted a sort of an overall strategy for the Department of Commerce that is far more unified and that allows us to leverage economies of scale. So that is going to be an enormous impetus in the next fiscal year. The next one is probably in terms of employee retention and employee training. The skill sets continue to evolve. The competition out there is absolutely fierce. And so having the ability to have a well-trained workforce that can continue to be very productive going forward is extremely important, because the migrations don't stop. I mean, we continually have to go through migrations of legacy systems, right? And by the way, and that brings us to the third priority, which is really putting a substantial amount of effort into continuing to obsolete some of our older systems. In some ways, with some of our older systems actually catapult us over several technology processes and procedures that took place in the interim and that these legacy systems never benefited from, so that we go from being in the oldest realm to being in the newest realm by migrating 30, 40-year-old systems directly into the cloud and the capabilities that exist there. So our plate is full, that's for sure. But that is always the case in IT, right?
Well, Andre Mendes, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me. Take care.